Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healy. Today we're taking a look at Steel Arena, Friday night robot fight. And really the name tells you exactly what kind of game it is. You are taking the helm of a robot in a battle arena, and you are simply trying to gain the most trophies. And the way you gain the most trophies is by scoring damage on other robots. And whoever gets to 10 trophies first is the winner. And then there are some other in-game conditions as well. We'll go over that in a minute. But generally speaking, you're trying to basically beat the snot out of the other robots and you not get the snot beat out of you. Basically is what it is. So let's get down to the table and I will show you. Basically, this is exactly what the name of the game implies. It is Friday Night Robot Fight. So you're basically trying to score the most trophies, and the way you score trophies is by doing damage to other robots. Now, the game will end in one of three different ways. First of all, one player will have collected 10 trophies or more by the end of his turn. That person is declared the winner. Second, one of the robots is completely out of the game, where they have to, after taking damage, they have to actually get rid of their central module. Third, the pile of Generation 3 tiles here runs out, and these basically are placed on the board once an empty space is open. So when one of those three things occurs, whoever has the most trophy tiles is the winner. Well, gameplay is actually quite simple. You can activate on your turn, you can activate a number of your modules on your robot, or you can cool down all of your modules on the robot, and that consists of your turn. After that, there comes an upkeep phase where a number of different things happen. We'll get to those in just a few moments. Activating your modules on your robot is actually the crux of the entire game. So you can see that there are different kinds of modules out here. Red modules are attack modules, give you some type of weapon that you will be able to use against your enemy. Blue is armor or some kind of defensive module that you can add to your robot. These are movement modules that help your robot move around the board. These are turn modules, which will be able to help you turn your robot in the direction you want it to go. And these are terrain modules. Now, terrain modules have a couple of different things. First of all, the X denotes that it blocks basic shooting direct shot weapons, so you can't shoot through this terrain tile. This denotes that it also blocks movement through it. Here, this means it's a one-time use, and this means that it does 2 damage to somebody that is standing on it, but it also does explosive damage to everybody around it as well. And once this explodes, it's removed from the board. That's what this one-time use thing means. So generally speaking, when you activate a module, you get to do whatever it says. For example, if I activate the walker M1, I will be able to move my walker in a straight line, my robot rather, either 1 or up to 2 spaces. Now, since, for example, this robot here, if he activates that walker, would be able to move up to 2, but since this terrain thing is here, I would only be able to move 1. Other things about the modules is that some of them have auto cooling and some of them are speed modules. Auto cooling simply means that they will automatically cool down at the end of your turn, rather than having to choose to cool it down as your turn later. Speed modules simply means that after you activate this module, you can activate one more. And if that second one is a speed module, you could activate another, and so forth and so on. Then after your action phase comes your upkeep phase, where you add a module to your board if you're standing on top of one. So for example, if I were there at the end of my turn, I would take this module and add it to my board and then just replace my robot there. Then you would also also switch your robot back to normal mode. So if you take damage on your robot and you go below 5 modules, including your center module here. So if I ever had to lose 2 of my modules based on, because of taking damage, I would have to turn my robot over to what is called forced mode. I call it beast mode because you're actually stronger at this point than you are on the other side. But and then during the upkeep phase, if you are able to add 2 more and get back up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modules, then you can flip this back over to normal mode so that you have less restrictions and so forth and so on. Additionally, any overheat tokens that are on modules that have overcooling, they come off on the upkeep phase. And then any voids in the map, like after I move here, I'm going to leave a void. Any voids are filled with Generation 3 tiles, like so. So on Tilda's turn, she doesn't have any overheat tokens, so we're just going to go ahead and activate her. So we're going to spend 1 token here to activate her move 1 for her central module. That is a speed module, so we're going to activate another one as well. So we're going to go ahead and activate the axis here and turn up to 1 or 2 spaces like that. Now at this point I'm done because I can't activate any more modules. I was able to activate the second one only because the speed module allows me to activate another module after it. But this one isn't a speed module, so now my turn is over. I'm going to go ahead and take this module and add it to my robot. I can look at it first, and we're just going to go ahead and place it here. You don't have to turn it over until you actually use it. You want to try to keep it secret, I guess you could say, from everybody else. Then any modules that have auto cool on them absolutely go away, and any voids are replaced with a Generation 3 tile. So then after they've taken their turn, it comes back to me, and I'm going to activate my center module here to rotate 1. Like so, and then I'm also going to activate the Walker M1 to come forward 1 like so, and then that will be the end of my turn. I auto cool that. This comes onto my board after I look at it. Ooh, the Crusher. And so we'll go ahead and put that right here, and that's the end of my turn. And unfortunately on my next turn I've kind of worked myself in a corner here, and they've really got a good thing going here. I could rotate to make sure that I have my frontal armor there, but since I have this flank armor kind of in reserve and they don't know that I have that, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to cool down my machine and see what I can do next turn. They're going to turn over one of their turning modules, and it is a speed module, so they're going to activate that one first and rotate 1 so that now they're facing me. Then they're going to activate the center module here, which can attack me for 1, which doesn't do anything because I can flip this over and say, haha, you are hitting my flank armor that you didn't know I have, and it blocks it for 1 point of damage. So now once this has been activated and used, it's we're going to now hit it with a cricket shot, which makes Tilda have to lose 1 module. So we're going to look to see what we have here. We're going to get rid of the boom box. And the boom box simply gets put over here face down. That is a trophy for the Object 113 for the end of the game. Now back to green's turn here. We're going to activate this to turn. So now front armor, and I'm going to hit the crush. We're going to activate the crush hammer. And so we're actually going to hit Object 113 for 3 points of damage. Now, they have front armor of 1, So that means they have to lose 2 modules. So we're going to lose 1 because we know that this one is better than that one. So we're going to lose this. That'll be 1 trophy for Tilda. And we'll also lose the cricket here, which becomes a 2nd trophy for Tilda. Now, we have to check to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modules, so they're okay. They don't have to flip over to forced mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same over here. So that's generally how the game would play out. You simply have to be positioning your robots, using your modules in an efficient manner to try to get the best shots, cause the most damage, and get the most trophies. And so that's basically how Steel Arena plays. Not very difficult at all, but pretty fun. Let's get to my final thoughts. So that is Steel Arena. Now, as always, I've pretty much just showed you the basic rules of how the game plays out, just to give you an idea of how it works and all of that good stuff. There's a lot of other things in there. There's a wastage rule where you can use the modules that have been overheated, your move and turn ones, so that if you do get stuck in a kind of a bad place, rock and a hard place type situation, you can move out of there. The only problem is that those modules are destroyed after you use them. So you generally don't want to do something like that. It's an emergency case situation only. There's also other kinds of advanced rules where you don't play with hidden information. Everything is seen so that you can you know what the other person is able to do, and you know their defenses, and you know what weapons they have, and that will change how you play the game. You might play a lot more careful if some of that hidden information is still there. So there's, again, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. A lot of things that I didn't show you were different types of weapons that have different types of shooting abilities. Some weapons can shoot over obstacles, and some of them shoot straight through them, the beam weapons. There's weapons that just push and cause damage that way. So again, I think there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, and I think it's a really neat implementation of it as well. You know, basically, the way I was thinking about this was that this is like Rock'em Sock'em Robots modern version. That's what it really felt like. You're not just duking it out right in the middle of the ring. You're positioning yourself. You're moving. You're turning. You're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. But generally speaking, it's Rock'em Sock'em Robots for the future. And I really did enjoy this. This was a surprise for me. This is kind of like what Robo Rally would be if it weren't a racing game. if that makes any kind of sense to you. Because you do have to kind of program your robots. You don't program them ahead of time, but you definitely have to choose what kind of modules you go after to kind of have an idea of what you're going to be able to do later on in the game. And that determines where your robot moves, because wherever he stops, that's the module that you get added to your central module at the end of your turn. So I think there's a lot of really neat things going on in this game. I like the fact that it plays quickly. Your turn doesn't take a whole lot of time, although there is a little bit of analysis paralysis, especially when you start getting more modules added to your central module. You want to try to figure out the best way to fire them, especially if you have a good number of speed modules on your robot, because those just allow you to chain together a whole lot of different modules. So I can see where it could possibly bog down with a lot of analysis paralysis going on, but I didn't see that happen. I haven't witnessed that. Generally speaking, the games that I have played, the turns that have happened very quickly, and it's just been a very fun time of trying to position your robot to get the best attack. Now, in a two-player game, it's really just mano-a-mano, but when you add other players into the game, it does go up to 4 players. Now you really have to be careful with making sure that your flank isn't exposed, or the rear armor is, because you usually don't have any rear armor back there. You have to make sure that you're not exposing your flanks to the other people as you're focusing on another person and trying to attack them. So there's a lot of back and forth that goes on in the game. I really do enjoy it. Having the obstacles in the game, the different terrain tiles, those are awesome as well. Just a lot of good stuff. I enjoyed this game a lot. It's going to get 2 thumbs up from me, simply because this is the kind of action allowance system that I really do enjoy. I can see what I can do, and I get to use it however I'd like to get it used. And then sometimes you have to just wait and kind of use a turn to cool down. But those are some pretty neat things about the game. Now, even though I gave the game 2 thumbs up, I am going to say that there is a kind of a caveat here, and that is, I want to call it a luck of the draw mechanism, because there are times where it seems like if you land on a number of different speed modules or a number of different auto cooling modules on your turn and your opponent doesn't, you're going to have an advantage, a sizable advantage at that. Hopefully you get the idea. I like this game, but I think it has a couple of pitfalls, but I think those pitfalls don't outweigh the fun that you can have, especially if you just take it for what it is, and that's really a light, fast, simple robot bashing game. So I really enjoyed it, had a great time with it. As always, try before you buy, but we'll see you guys on the flip side.